And stocking up today, joining me now is Dave Bartosiak of Zacks.com, here with his prediction. What do you think we're in for here?
So I busted out my crystal ball. I had to dust it off. And I'm going to paint a rosy scenario of the market and then the not-so-rosy scenario of the market. Now, among those is infrastructure spending. That's mostly smaller banks that have been benefiting from this because they're going to be the ones doing the lending. And that's why you saw the Russell skyrocket, really, because almost a quarter of the Russell is to the
small cap companies in the United States.
Small
minor exposure to anything happening globally. So that has been a great place to be.
Right, so you're insulated from that, and then the financials, big time. So anyway, so now here's the rosy scenario, right? So the rosy scenario is that finally this fiscal policy benefits us like the monetary policy of the Fed has been carrying us for the last several years. And they just kind of hand it off, and the market keeps on rallying. The small caps go absolutely ballistic, maybe even 1,500 on the Russell, and the S&P cheers a little bit, but not as much, because what you're going to get is you're going to start to see interest rates creep up, I think in either scenario, the rosy scenario or the terrible scenario.
Okay.
And that's going to put pressure on large cap stocks that pay dividends. So inside of the S&P, you're going to have a little bit of trouble, but the Russell could still just be gangbusters all year.
Let's take a look at the not-so-rosy picture. What are we in for on that picture?
So the not-so-rosy picture, we got to get the screen darker, and my beard has to go into a point.
Spooky music.
Is that it doesn't quite work. So all of this hope that we've had for the infrastructure spending to happen just doesn't really happen, right? And then we don't get that big boost that the Russell's been looking for, and you could throw in perhaps a trade war with China or something like that develops.
Okay.
And if inflation starts to tick up a little bit, the Fed gets more aggressive in their rate hike to kind of snuff it out. So the not-so-rosy scenario is that there's almost a Volcker v. Carter situation. So then you're not talking 1,500 on the Russell. You're not talking 1,300 on the Russell. I think you're talking about the Russell going all the way back to 1,100.
Whoa, that hurt a little bit.
I know.
So it's hard to put a trade on then that you could come out a winner on both sides. You really have to pick a side, it sounds like.
Or you just close your eyes and buy a call on the put, at the money, and hope that it breaks out in one way or the other. But the problem is that there's so much volatility that's been juiced into this thing right now. So I think what I'm looking at is, 100 days into his office is not that long, right? Even just the inauguration. This could be we could be
will
buying
know right
the
away.
event.
I have a feeling we're going to know right away.
Right. We could be buying the event and selling the inauguration.
And that happens.
It certainly happens. But the rosy scenario where everybody's on the same page and everybody's getting bullish, that always makes me nervous because we're never all right.
So you want to be on the other side of the trade?
I right now, I have a little bit of a lean towards the other side of the trade. Right.
So what are you doing?
So right now, I am looking to maybe sell into some of the optimism that's taking place. Mm-hmm. So selling out of the money Russell options. If you go out a few months into maybe even the March or the April of the year,
right?
And just kind of way out. I mean, you got to go way out, right? But there's still premium way out. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do. But I wouldn't just do it. Only selling that, I would put on a short call spread. That way I'm going to protect just in case it really pops off.
Well, I just love that you traders are always ahead of the game. So thank you for coming on the show today.